So yeah, I want to talk about how the Seattle signing happened. I know Steinberg's the scout in the
Yeah.
Atlantic Canada, so I'm assuming there was some connection there. But I guess just talk about the whole process of signing, how it went down, who you talked to, and that.
Yeah, so basically Trev played a big part in it. Trev, he's been a big fan of mine, and I'm a big fan of Trev, and he kind of got that job with Seattle as the Atlantic Canadian scout, and also Mike Dawson, who drafted me in Carolina. He was the scout who drafted me in Carolina, and
Okay.
Ron Francis, the GM, was the GM in Carolina
Oh
when I was
yeah.
drafted by Carolina. So I think Ron left in April and I got drafted in June. So he definitely, like, there's had to be some sort of correlation there. And then there was also a couple other scouts who were in Carolina who are now in Seattle who liked me, who that was part of the reason I was drafted. So, kind of Mike, after I didn't sign, he kind of said, like, hey, like, it's all right. Like, I know you're going to get your shot. Like, just keep working. Um, and then sort of, all throughout the year, like I had, I was playing well. There wasn't many other teams or wasn't many other leagues playing, so the Q was kind of getting more attention than maybe it usually does. So, and like I said, I was playing well. So there was a couple teams who were reaching out to my agent, just kind of saying, hey, like, what's his deal? Like, is he putting on weight? How's he, things like that. So, and then, Seattle was always sort of, it's not a front runner, but there was always talks with them and my agent all throughout the year. And then I'd say so I play the year. We're in the playoffs. We finished the first round. We beat Gatineau. We go back to Blainville. We stay in a hotel. Shocker. So we're in a hotel in Blainville, not allowed to go back to our billets because of COVID. I get a call from Ron Francis. And I'm like, oh my God, here we go. Like this, okay, let's do this here. So we talk for probably 20, 25 minutes, kind of about the organization, just like how excited everyone is. The city of Seattle, I think they sold like 10,000 season tickets in like 12 minutes or something. So he's very excited. He's asking me about, some of the games in the playoffs, my season, what happened in Carolina and stuff. And, we had a very, very good chat, I thought. And I kind of hung up and I was like, okay, like, I'm starting to get a good feeling. And then so we were in Blainville, then we went to Quebec City for like the bubble where all the Q playoffs happened.
Yeah.
The second round on, sorry. And we're playing Victoriaville. So we're there. I forget the days now. It's
It's all
been a
good.
while.
Blends
Uh,
together.
we're there. We were there. We got there Thursday. We practiced Friday. Game 1 was Saturday at 1:00. So we practice. We play the game Saturday at 1. We win in overtime. So you get back so it's 1 to 3:30. You get back to the hotel around 4:30. Eat. Then I got back to my bed and I'm just like, oh, like, well, like those it was a long game, it's an overtime game. Like those games take tolls on you.
Yeah.
And then I kind of was just laying in my bed. I like dozing off, watching YouTube, watching hockey. I get a text from my agent. He says, call me ASAP. So I'm like, oh shit, like, here we go. So I call him. He just says, he's like, how would you like to be the first player signed with the Seattle Kraken? And I was just like speechless. Like, I was so happy. And he's like, you've worked so hard for this. I'm so proud of you. And then, to have the game, to win the game, obviously we didn't win the series, but to win that game in overtime, then have that happen was just unbelievable. He's like, look, like, we can't say anything. Like, you can't say a thing to anyone because the first player in the organization, they want to release that on their own terms. You know what I mean? Like, they want to.
Oh yeah, I
they
never
don't want
thought
it,
of that.
They don't want it to get out in the media. Like, they don't want
Yeah.
some reporter
Yeah.
tweeting it before they do. So he's like, man, like, I hate to do this to you, but you got to keep it quiet. Then Ron called me. He's like, man, you got to keep it quiet. Like, he's like, tell your parents. I told my parents. I told my girlfriend. I told my siblings. I told one guy on the team because he was like my best friend on the team. I told him the call with my parents. I FaceTimed them. Like, my mom was crying. My dad was super excited. My girlfriend was, super, super happy for me. It was a day I'll never forget. So it happened. That was Saturday, and they released it on Wednesday. So 4 days we were playing games. Like, I couldn't say anything. Like,
Oh, that's brutal. Well, it's awesome, but like,
it was awesome. But
That's
like,
what- yeah.
I just going to like.
It's bittersweet.
Bittersweet,
Yeah.
yeah. But going to like meals with my team. Like I got this big secret I can't tell them because you never know what could happen.
They're like, Luke, why are you smiling so
Yeah,
much?
yeah.
We just lost. What are you doing?
My coach Bruce, who
You couldn't tell him.
No, that was probably the toughest part. Is I couldn't tell him, and I actually told Jack and Jake McKinnon, who are my two best friends here. I told them as well. I knew they were going to keep it quiet. So there was probably like 4 or 5 people that I told. But yeah, Bruce, I couldn't tell him, which was killing me because we've been through so much together. He was there when I was 18, 19, and 20, and we have such a good relationship. And obviously, me being the captain, the coach and the captain, they kind of they're very close. They have a good relationship. We talk about things, and I think it came out. We had a day off Wednesday, so Wednesday morning, it was coming out at Wednesday at like 2. I think like Wednesday at like 12, I went into his room and I knocked on the door. I was like, Bruce, like, sit down for a second. I got to tell you something. And we had just lost game 3, so we were down 2-1. He's like, oh, fuck, here we go. Like, what's this about? And I told him, and he was so happy. It was one of the best. I think that was one of the best moments that I had with this whole Seattle thing was just, seeing how, raw his happiness was. It was really cool to see, and definitely a day I'll never forget.
Dude, getting emotional. That's a crazy story. That's insane. And I guess we'll talk about your phone after.
Yeah.
Did you just put it away because you got idiots like me messaging you?
No. It was coming out at 2 Eastern, so it's 2 in Quebec, 3 here. And our whole team was in the conference room. I told them at like 1:50, so I wanted to tell them. I didn't want them to see it on Twitter or whatever, so I told them. They were all super happy. Like Seattle sent me like a box with the contract in it, with like a hat, with like a toque, with like a nice like glass bottle, just like with a message inside a glass bottle, like welcome me to the city.
Oh, I get it. Like a
yeah.
I
Because
get
the Kraken stuff.
Yeah.
So anyway, so that was really cool. So they kind of bring the box in, and everyone's like, "What's that?" And then like I opened it, and they were all like going nuts. And then my phone was pretty crazy. I didn't really expect it to be that big. It was a very, very, I knew like to be the first player in an organization, it was bigger than I thought. So I don't even know how many texts I had. Like I was answering them for days, and Instagram was crazy. Like I got like 8,000 followers or something. And
No.
like, yeah, it was crazy. And like, I didn't expect that to happen at all. And, I had interviews to do. I had like podcasts, radio shows. Like I had a bunch of stuff I needed to do, and it was in the middle of a playoff series. So it was a bit emotionally draining, but I'm obviously really happy that it happened. And, but like I said, like if I had signed with any other team, obviously it would have been super cool. And like, I would have, a lot of people would have reached out, but this was like next level just because I was the first player in the organization. There was a lot more that came with it. But it was super exciting and definitely a day that I'll never forget. And, it was crazy. I didn't expect it to be as big as it was.